When we're dealing with a student who's never been in the special education process before and hasn't received services, many parents will say, well, I really am not even thinking that this is a special education issue, or they may not realize why it is. Or when trying to figure out whether or not it is a special education issue, we're looking at sometimes facts that may not seem as obvious to a parent as being signals that there is actually an impact educationally on the student. So the common reaction is, what are the kids' grades like? Or how does the student do on standardized tests to know whether or not a child is making academic progress.
Right, which is
but that's
right,
a different
not the whole
issue
picture.
from whether the student is making educational progress. Yes, grades are important. Yes, standardized assessments are important. But if a student is missing school a lot, excessive absences is a red flag right there for almost any kind of a disability. But excessive absences, discipline referrals. This is a kid who's constantly ending up in the principal's office, or on every 3 weeks they're on a 3-day out of school suspension or something. Those regular disciplinary issues. School avoidance of any kind. Hindsight is often 20/20.
Right.
But when you're now considering that you're in a crisis because your child is in the hospital, and now you're looking back on how this may be impacting them educationally, those are the kinds of things that I often see in the record. Is that the student, when in school, does pretty well if they're holding it together for that week. But if the student's missing months and months of school over the aggregate over the course of the school year, that's obviously there's some adverse impact. And if it's because of an emotional disability, then we really need to go down the path of assessing it.
And that's not even considering the time that the child might be out of school due to the hospitalization.
Of course.
Because that in and of itself can add up many, many, many days. And if you're actually not at school, you can't be receiving an education.
Right.
So that's in addition to what you were talking about, you have to consider that as well.
Right.